We stand together, we stand as one. We will not be broken, we'll overcome. This is our battle cry, oh hear our drum. We will not be silenced, our voice is one.
Stolen Spirits is a dedicated community focused on raising awareness and advocating for justice for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. MMIWG, through shared stories, resources, and activism, our mission is to shed light on these often overlooked cases, provide support for affected families, and honor the spirits of those who have been lost.
Hey everyone. Thanks for coming in.
Hello, everyone.
We're back. Don't forget to click the thumbs up as I click it. Let's see. So today we have two panel guests with us today, and I'm going to let Nicole go ahead and read what we had for the flyer so you guys can know a little bit of the background before we start.
Okay, so today we're going to discuss Lori Ann DeCora. So on February 3rd, 1992, Lori Ann DeCora was murdered in Sioux City, Iowa. She was beaten and stabbed outside of a home on West 4th Street where she was attending a party. Lori Ann was left in critical condition and died 5 weeks later when she succumbed to her injuries. She was only 24 years old when she was taken from her 2 young children and family. No one has been formally charged for her death. And we have her daughter Kayla and her niece Renee here with us today to discuss her case.
Yep, pretty excited about that. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks
for
everybody.
having us.
Yeah, so happy you guys decided to do it. So, where do we want to start? Let's see. Do you guys know where you want to start? I don't want to make you.
I guess if you want to introduce yourselves first, that'd be great.
Sure. I'm Braddy. I'm the founder of Stolen Spirits, MMIWG, and this is my group. I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves, and then you guys can all take your turns, and you ladies too.
Okay, I'm Nicole. So just Nicole.
I'm just Nicole.
Just Nicole.
I'm Emery. Barb. On a good day.
Hey, Barb.
And Zachy is typing.
If you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my laptop. This time I have it open. So
Same.
last time I didn't, and I had no clue what anybody was saying. Pretty excited about this. We want to help help them spread awareness with Lori Ann DeCora.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty excited about that. Can somebody do me a favor real quick? Oh, hold on.
What you need?
I'll do it. I think I could do it from here. Okay. Sorry about that.
So, should we wait for Zach or?
I'm Zach.
Yes.
We're good now.
I thought he was going to tell something about him. Go ahead. Kayla, you want to go first? And
Sure, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Kayla, Buffalo Chief Serum. Lori DeCora was my mother, and I have here with me Renee Helper, my cousin, and we're here and to represent our cause, justice for Lori Ann DeCora, Invisible No More. We're seeking out justice and wanting to spread awareness on our case, getting our name out to the public, and just seeking out supports and networking. And I thank you to MMIG, WIG, Stolen Spirits. Thank you, Brady, and everybody for having us on here. We're really humble and thank you.
yeah, of course.
I met Brady on Facebook a couple weeks ago, I think, and she's a great lady. And I introduced her to Renee, and they invited us to come on their show, and so we're ecstatic about being here. This is my cousin Renee, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Renee Helper. Lori Ann is my aunt. I was 7 years old when when she was murdered in Sioux City, Iowa in 1992. This all started with, I guess, a Facebook post that I made regarding like answers and questions basically on what happened. I remember it vividly, I guess, when I was younger. It was very traumatic. And like throughout the years, we nobody talked about it, nobody brought it up. It was kind of like taboo to even talk about. And today with the MMIW, MMIG, MMIP, MMIR movement, it has really helped us give us that strength and courage to come forward and to tell her story and share our stories of how much this has impacted our life, how much has impacted our family, and get justice for my aunt. She was 24 years old. She had two children, two young children, and she didn't get to live her life. Her life was cut short by somebody who decided to take it. And we just really want to let people know, she's not invisible no more. We're going to talk about her. We're going to talk about it.
Right.
And we're gonna do our best to advocate and to spread awareness. And we're welcome to support donations. We do have a page, a Facebook page. I do manage the Facebook page. It is called Justice for Lori Ann DeCora, Invisible No More. All the updates, all the Iowa Cold Case website. My sister Danielle, who couldn't be here tonight, she helps advocate as well. She does a lot of the interviews and she does a lot of the, I guess I would say, important paperwork in the behind the scenes. And we were able to get her page up and send out invites to people to follow because there's a lot of people that remember Lori, a lot of friends. She was a very, very outgoing person. She was very funny, very happy, very tall, very beautiful, and well liked from a lot of people. So we do have that page up, and the some of the segments are pinned on there. We did have the KTIV news there. We just held a vigil around her anniversary date of when she was attacked, and then so that kind of helped us bring more awareness in the community. We had it about a half a block down from the site, and people were able to gather. People were able to remember her. And we're hoping as we move forward to be able to um, keep advocating in the Siouxland area for her and on her behalf. And I would like to thank the Stolen Sisters and you guys as the group for being able to give us the space and love and support for allowing us to be here tonight. And Brady and everybody, like, you guys are awesome. I've never thought that I would be on a YouTube live.
Neither
So
did
this,
I.
yeah, I go live on Facebook. No, but this is very new and it's so awesome to get her out there more, just
Yeah.
to get to her, like, like national. And it really, really helps us as a family to be able to see all the love and support. And I just want to thank you guys.
Yeah, we're glad to have you guys. And like I was telling Kayla before, it's YouTube is like it the word will spread fast. Like there's a lot of people that we know too or that like follow us that would be more than happy to push her name out there as well. And I think you guys are doing amazing for just starting to like opening her spreading awareness about her case and stuff. Like you guys are doing amazing. It's impressive.
And thank you for trusting us to be here with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Yes, most definitely. I firmly believe in giving credit where credit is due, and I would like to take a moment to thank Danielle Lapointe and Renee Helper for being the backbone of starting to get us up and running. Danielle really has done a lot of good work and research into that night and a lot of the names, and she has dug very, very heavy, and she actually got us up on the Iowa Cold Case website. And I was talking to her on a messenger, and she told me about it, and I looked it up on Iowa Cold Case, and boom, there it was. And I've went on that site many, many times and never seen my mother up there. And that day it just took a grasp. It like just kind of took my breath away. My face got hot. My whole body just was like shaking. Because how important it is to me that, like we have never gotten any type of recognition. And I commend our younger generation of our family for stepping up and being the backbone of our family to say, hey, this happened. This is real. And it wasn't just like something that happened and it didn't exist. It existed. It ruined a lot of relationships in our family. It was very traumatizing for our family. It was traumatizing for myself. I had a baby brother who was like 11 months old, 9 months old, and 11 months old when my mother passed away. And, he took his life at 13 years old. And I firmly believe that had a lot to do with our mother's death. Not only was my mother murdered, his father was murdered before he was even born. And so, my little brother had a very hard disposition in life, having no parents, and it was traumatizing. And, so I'm super grateful to Renee and Danielle and to myself and to people like you guys, and also Great Plains Action Society. They have been helping us every step of the way since we've got up and running. And, it's just been a journey already. And it's kind of took an emotional, like, I wouldn't say toll. I have a lot of mental health problems, but just all this stuff, like trauma is coming up, and learning how to deal with it in a good way is very healing for myself. And, right now I'd like to say a special word for my aunties who cannot be here, but I know they're watching. Jermaine John, Isla DeCora, and Kathleen DeCora, and Eileen DeCora. I represent them in speaking out for their sister. It was very traumatizing for each and every one of them. And, it's taken a toll on them in their lives. And so for all these things to be brought up right now is it's very detrimental for our family to find justice. And so the more PR we can get, the more we get our case out there, I feel like is the better, spread the word. So we're just grateful to be here.
I feel like you guys are gonna get justice. Like I feel it in my heart. It's like you said, good timing. Like there right now, MMIW is like there's so many cases that it's like that are being pushed out and stuff, and this is a perfect opportunity. She deserves justice. You guys deserve justice, and I think you guys are gonna get it finally.
Thank you. I really hope so. I believe so too. I can feel it in my bones. It's where we are. We're gonna get there.
Yep, you are. So like, how have like personal like how have you yourself, well, even the cousin or the niece, like Renee, over the years, like going through something like that, like how did you cope? Like how did you cope, and are you okay today? Like what what got you through it? How did you do it?
I could go first, Kayla, and then maybe Kayla can go. So being 7 years old, I had a lot of memories of my aunt. There are different things that she really, you know, put it like left an impact on my life. And I remember her singing, and I remember her dancing, and I remember her getting ready, and I remember her at my house. I remember her helping my mom clean. I remember her holding her baby. And that then I said in my post, like I remember he had so much hair, and she was just so thrilled that he had so much hair. It was just adorable little Indigenous baby. And so all these things, I felt like my family was a lot different when she was here, and I could feel like the gathering and the eating and the cooking and the get-togethers and the holidays and stuff. But I feel like it just like I don't know how much time went by or how many months or weeks went by, but suddenly, I remember being at the hospital, and I just remember seeing her in the hospital bed, and I just remember my mom just just screaming so loud. And I like couldn't I guess I couldn't realize what was happening. Like I was little, and I was like, what is happening, and then after that, we did have her wake services and her funeral. And Kayla and I were just talking about those moments when we were at the funeral. And I remember, she was older than us, and she cried a lot, and we were all really young. And it's almost like we kept running around and playing outside, but it's almost like so sad. Like we're not supposed to be playing, we're supposed to be crying, so I'd be like, Kayla, let's go back inside and cry. Like it was just because you're a little kid, right? You
Yeah,
don't know, but everybody is so sad.
yeah.
And I remember she just reminded me that she stopped in the middle of playing when we were outside running around, and she said, and I asked her what was the matter, and she said, like, my mom died. And
Mhm.
she said, I told her it's okay, we could share my mom, which is her aunt. They're sisters. Lori and my mom are sisters. My mom's older. And I remember she remembers that, and I remember saying that to her, and I remember I told her I meant it all the time, like every word. And I was so little, but I could see like how much it took an effect on her, you know
And you've done
and
that. You've done that because she's told me how close she is to her and stuff, and that's amazing.
yeah, and that just, like being so little and working through those emotions of
Yeah.
something so traumatic, it really does stick with you. And so then when we got older, I seen her kind of go off on a different road and path. And I think with our family, I felt like there was just so much like chaos. There was a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and you know, I was like, it just felt so different, kind of a little darker. And I didn't realize, now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm pretty sure people were grieving and they were depressed, and it affected them, and I could feel that. And I just remember like the turmoil, being at my grandma's house, or family gatherings and stuff. And and I think everyone was just grieving in their own way. And it took a lot of years to really kind of just not give up and keep going on.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a tape of my Auntie Lori, of her singing, and my grandma would play it all the time. you know um we would listen to it. We would remember her. My mom had a really difficult time because she was older, and she has like PTSD. So my mom had a lot of episodes around the anniversary time. This It was just really hard on her mental health, and so she was in and out of the hospitals due to that. And so we, as children, we were heavily reliant on my dad, and my dad had to basically be that parent when my mom, checked out. And it very much impacted our life growing up. And my mom always apologizes. I'm sorry, that's not how it was supposed to be. I said, it's not. It's okay, Mom. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. It's not your fault. You have this. And I always forgive her, and I love her so much. And back then, she tells us stories about when she tried to advocate for my Auntie Lori back in 1992. She said she got a lot of roadblocks. A lot of things had happened, such as um, like people not wanting to talk about it, people not wanting to come forward. Nobody wanted to basically take blame or take ownership over things. And she just was very frustrated with the system and the people in the community. And it really, she still talks about how much, lack of, efforts all around for trying to get her justice. And I think she did her best to try. But at the end of the day, that vow of silence just won. It took over, and nobody wanted to come forward. And so fast forward to today, there's still a lot of people that are alive from that time, and a lot of people that remember. And we're always just asking, contact the police if you have any information. Contact the Sioux City Police Department if you feel like, you want to come forward, like Kayla said, get right with God, and be able to make that phone call, to help get some answers and some truth. There is a lot of different stories from different individuals. And and I think that the best we have right now is what we put out, that's aligned with what we know. And if it's different, then please come forward, tell
Yeah.
us the
Even
truth.
it doesn't matter how small it is, too, if you just
Yeah.
remember anything. Some people think that, oh, this won't matter. You just don't know that. Sometimes it's the smallest thing that can solve a case. So it's like, come forward if you know anything at all. If you've seen anything, if you've seen something, say something, like they say.
Right. And, so going with that, Sioux City Police Department phone number is 712-279-6390.
Yep.
So I'll kind of chime in here, to answer Brady's question, what was it like back then, and how did I cope? Renee, I was going to bring that up too. It was very traumatizing, for me. I remember that night, one of my aunties came to our house, our apartment. My mom had just gotten off work, and we were down at my grandma's, Chris Denny and Patty DeCora. We were downstairs, and we lived above them, me and my mom, and then my other auntie lived in the apartment next to us. So it was like a triplex, and we all had the whole place. And so my mom came and got me and Chunku, and we went upstairs and we laid him down and we were eating cereal, and she was talking to me and telling me about her day and whatnot. Um, and one of my aunties came, and my mom, they were very young, and these girls were very beautiful. There were 5 girls. My grandma had 5 girls: Jermaine, Isla, Lori. I don't know which one of the twins came first, Kathleen and Eileen. I'm pretty sure it was Kathleen, because I feel like she's the older one. And then Eileen. But one of my aunties came, and my mom was she was going to AA, she was trying to be sober. And my auntie came and was like, come on, let's go out. And my mom's like, oh, I gotta just put these kids to bed and I gotta get up tomorrow. And and I don't remember, it's kind of hazy, but in the end she was like, oh, okay. And they got ready, and they took us back downstairs, and I went to sleep. And the next thing I know, my grandma Patty was waking me up and getting me dressed, and she was like really frantic. And it was like cold outside, and she was pulling me in the car and taking me to the hospital and pulling me out, and I didn't know what was going on. And it took me a long time to really tell people the trauma that happened that night. They were running us down this long hallway, and they were like telling my grandma stuff, and she's kind of dragging me behind her. And as we come to like this 4-way, they're like running by with my mom, and there was like blood everywhere. And it was I didn't know it was her until I seen her long hair, and I just like automatically, instinctively knew it was her. And my grandma turned me around, and I didn't tell people that. This is probably the first time publicly I've ever told anybody, and everybody now. But that stuck with me for a lifetime. It just kind of replayed over and over, and it didn't stop. And I would just see it all the time. There was like racing thoughts. I know now that those are racing thoughts, but it was like very hard to comprehend what was going on. And I remember Jermaine, Renee's mom, screaming, like she said, when she got to the hospital. It was very traumatic for our family. And and then my mother lived in the hospital for a month on life support. And, my family kept me there at the hospital for whatever reason. They didn't know what they were doing or how traumatizing that would be for me. But I was there every single day up until the very end. The last couple of days I went to school, and I just remember my grandma coming to pick me up, or one of the aunties, come on, we got to go, hurry up. We got to go. We got to get back to the hospital. And she had finally passed away. And I think, I don't know if I can't remember right now if my family had, I think she passed away. But when we were at the services, like Renee said, it was very crazy. We were like little kids running around, and we were having fun. And then it would dawn on me, like, what was going on. And I just remember being in the back of St. Paul's Episcopal Church here in Sioux City, Iowa. And I just stopped, and it like just hit me, and I was crying. And Renee came up, and she's like, what's wrong? And I said, my mom's dead. And she was like she didn't know what to do. And we were just little kids. And I said, who's going to take care of me and Chunku now? And she's like, rubbing my back. It's okay. She said, it's okay. You can share my mom. And I looked at her and I said, but I don't want your mom. And, and we went inside and we sat down, and I went to my grandma and I cried, and she hugged me. And then we went back outside and played, But then I remember, that I was very young. About the age of 13, I started running away from my grandma and my grandpa and having a really hard time. I was drinking and using marijuana. Substance, abuse started at 13 years old. And I'd say by the time, that was just my career. That started my career of using drugs and drinking. And it just escalated for a lifetime. I didn't cope. That was my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
me being real, that was my coping mechanism. I didn't know anything about coping until I came into recovery. You know, I've been sober for going on 4 years now, but I've been in and out of the rooms, in and out of treatment. And, you know, I believe that.
Congratulations for that. That's
Yes, definitely.
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's a huge
Thank you.
accomplishment.
Yep.
You know, I just feel really blessed. But that, you know, that answers your questions. What was it
Yeah.
like? It was very traumatizing. Not only for myself, I feel like it was the big divide in our family.
That's what I was going to say next. I was going to say something so traumatic, and my family's. I have, you know, how it is when you come from a big family. I come from a huge family as well, and we've been through some traumatic things too. And I know how it affected my family when things like that happen. And that's what I was going to say. Like, how did it? Like, some people don't see that side. Like this person. That's how I'll say it, nice way, chose to take your mom's life, and it didn't just affect you and your brother. I mean, it affected your entire family, and people don't realize that it can destroy a family. Something like that can destroy a family. You know.
For sure, it did. It did. You know, and as we are starting to have all these you know, these celebrations and these celebrating her life and her memory, you know, in us seeking justice, I feel like for once we're finally commemorating her memory in a good way. It wasn't that traumatic murder, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
finally taken a different place in life where we're connecting as a family, and we want healing, we want justice, and it's not that traumatic event that took place. Now, like, we're taking control, like, we're here, we're not going anywhere.
Right.
We are seeking justice, and we're not going to stop until we get answers.
Yep.
You know.
Let me. I don't know if you guys could see my shirt.
feeling.
Let me show you how beautiful this lady is. Can you guys? Am I right in it?
Yeah, you
Can you
can
see
see it.
that?
We see you.
Lovely.
Beautiful lady.
Yeah, Bratty bought one of our shirts.
I did.
She was our only order that we got to send out. It was exciting.
I love my shirt, and I'm gonna wear it to one of my powwows.
Thank you.
So yeah, spread that awareness.
Yes, thank you.
Did you guys have anything you guys wanted to anything else you wanted to say? I mean, the group. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask them? Like I say that and then I ask another question. That's what I do best. I was like, so I guess you kind of answered it earlier, but what was the
I just
what
feel
made
it's
you
time.
what made
Our
you
family.
what made you wake up one day and said, "This is it. This is the day we're gonna do this. No matter who gets upset or whatever, we're gonna do this. We're getting justice for Lori Ann DeCora." What woke you up that day and just like, this is it. There's no stopping us now. And you, like I said, you guys are doing amazing.
I think it had a lot to do with, and I just seen Nathaniel's comment, Nate McCauley, his mom, Terry McCauley, her cold case, they just indicted somebody in Sioux City, and, you know, justice for Terry. We
Yay.
support him, and he supports us back, and we're really grateful for him and Josh and Trisha. They're awesome people. I think it was kind of seeing that happen in the Sioux City area. It really gave us, I guess, inspiration to want to pursue
Yes.
justice, because it was for a very long time, for 33 years, you know, like our family, you know, the community, nobody talked about it. And I think it was because she was attacked on one day and then she died another date. I think that we just thought oh, well, maybe that's why they're not talking about it, you know, because she died in the hospital and not really at the
Yeah.
site. So I think that was kind of confusing to us coming you know, over the last couple of years. But then we were kind of, because it's kind of like when nobody talks about something and not makes it a big deal, it's kind of, you kind of start believing it, you
Yep.
know. And then I watched The Vow of Silence on Hulu, and that's when I was like, you know, that's kind of the same thing that's happening. That is happening. That is a real thing. Everybody's quiet, nobody's talking about it. And then I think that night I just could not sleep. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning and I was like, I cannot sleep. I have to say something. Like it's like building up and building up and building up and it's like boiling over and I just really need to get this out there. And so I did. And I was like, like, where's our justice? Where's our answers,
Absolutely.
and also it, like it's like we had to live uncomfortable for 33 years, our family, and not ask questions and not bring it up and not talk about it. But it's time. It's time. It's our time to finally really make everybody else uncomfortable.
Not
Let's
going
ask
to
these
be
questions.
silenced anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to be silenced no more. She's not
Nope.
invisible no more. We're going to ask questions. We're going to start, seeking justice. We're going to raise awareness. We're going to put her all over Sioux City.
Yep.
We are not stopping. And this is a public service announcement. We're not stopping. We're not going away. We're
And
going to be here.
we're here. I don't know what all we can do, but we're going to keep helping you push, and anything you need from us, let us know. We're
Absolutely.
Thank you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I'm so excited for you guys to get justice. I want this so bad for you guys. Like I had told you about my cousin, and we thought we got justice and nothing happened with it, but I feel it differently with you. I feel like you guys are going to get this, and I want it so bad for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. One thing I wanted to bring up is I feel like, we're very fresh into all of this in the aspects, and I'm very new to finding out all these legal aspects and what this means and what that means. And I feel like the feeling that I get in my heart is every corner we take, it's a roadblock. And one thing I wanted to reach out for when we got here is tonight is like, where do we go? How do we go from here? When they say the officials and the powers that be in the county say we don't have funding. We don't have funding to for investigative avenues, and even if something were to come up, we were told that there wouldn't be money for a grand jury. Like, I'm learning all these things, but I feel like, how do we get the higher ups to care, to want to investigate? Like, where do we go from here? Like, I'm reaching out, I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah.
If the county is at a standstill, and we're just now getting here. And so I know that as a family member, we want what we want, and we want it now, and we want it fast. And I know it takes time, but I feel like every avenue that we're starting to take is a roadblock to them saying, we're busy. We have crimes now. We don't have money to investigate. And, okay, so where do we go as a family? How do we get, are we allowed, do we need to look for funds for investigative services? And if so, like, how do we get there?
Where do we start? Yeah.
Where do we start? Like, we are doing a monthly food fundraiser, and our first fundraiser is April 5th, Saturday. We will be hosting an Indian taco sale. And our family is very excited about that. We're all coming together, like, with the vigil. That was the first time I have seen all my aunties in one spot at one time, the same spot at one time, and it was amazing for me. I'm in a wheelchair, and I crossed the street to look over, and there they all were. And it was just like, so, like, my heart just, like, it was healing,
Yeah.
but so, like, fundraising, I'm in the beginning stages of learning how to do that, because it takes money to spread awareness. Like, right here, what we're getting from you, that's free. That's amazing. Any PR we can get is amazing. We need to get our cause out there. But like, so, I'm just asking, while I'm here, how do we get the higher ups to pay attention, to want to, and I say care, because that's how it feels, like they don't care,
Right.
like, how much does it cost? Where could we find out, and who do we ask?
Yeah.
So,
You started off the right way by making noise, and the more noise you make, the more you will be seen. And it's a place to start. And I know it just seems like, okay, but we're still talking about maybe money for investigators or somebody to get in the middle of this and and help you. But the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The more noise you make, the more awareness you bring to this. At some point, you will see that not only will you hopefully have your community, but you will also find that there will be people who will come and lend a hand or be able to maybe do that part of the investigation. But you've started off really well, in my opinion. I just really see that the more you put it out there, the more noise you make, and don't ever give up. You'll see that I think it's going to bring you what you're looking for.
How is it right there on the screen? You can see there's the links to their Cash App and Venmo as well. It just flashed by,
I've been
but
putting them in the chat too. So
yeah, like everything costs money. Like even like just I can't even imagine. Like I do like flyers when I can. Even that costs money. Like so if you can help them, help them. But like coming on and speaking out and doing this and stuff, hope you never know who's going to see it as well. You don't know who the people are going to share it with, and hopefully something somebody comes forward with some information or whatever. But yeah, so if you guys want to look at those links inside that Nicole is dropping and share those with other people as well, that would be great too.
Most definitely. As we sit here, real quick,
No,
as
go
we
ahead.
sit here and you guys are playing all these slides, it's like amazing. I'm just so happy, Renee. Like, it's just like, there we are. There she is. She's live on YouTube,
Yeah.
where we haven't seen her like anywhere on the internet ever,
Yeah.
And so it's awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, there's a video the one that's playing right now, and it actually comes with music, and you will get that after this. So you guys can share it and do what you want with it as well, but it's the same video with music. Nicole did an amazing job.
I wanted to point out too that they just started their journey with this back in January or December, January, somewhere in there. So I mean, they're so new to this, and I told them the other day when we met with them, like, I'm kind of shocked with how far they've come in such a short time. I feel like you guys you seem like you've been doing this for a long time. So I'm really I don't know, I'm really proud of you guys for everything that you're doing and how hard
Yeah,
you're working
definitely.
to bring justice for your mom and your aunt, and just
Definitely.
I don't know,
Thank
And
you.
you guys are doing amazing. I can't even tell you how, I don't even know you, but I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad
yeah.
that you're doing this. And I'm
Yeah, the more I
honored
talk to
that we
them,
got to help share her story, and that we're able to do our part. So
Thank you.
yeah. I see Dean.
I'm
Sorry,
taking notes.
Dean asked me to see if Jason Jensen, to get a hold of him in private. He's a private investigator, and I have reached out to him, but he's the one who solved my cousin's case, and I have reached out to him, and it sometimes takes him a while to get back to me, but hopefully he does, because I want to tell him about your story as well.
Thank you.
It was a lot, there's a lot of similarity, and he, like I said, hers was 30-something years as well, and until he came along. But again, right time that my cousins came out and pushed as well. So yeah, you guys are doing amazing. I'll keep saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, we really are. So it was what is the month? Hey. Well, first, Danielle, my cousin Danielle, she went on Iowa Public Radio, and then it was right before the vigil, and in March, and Sheila Brummel, she did an interview. Danielle did an interview with Sheila Brummel, and then Sheila got it across the state of Iowa on Iowa Public Radio. It was amazing for us. And then it was like boom, boom, boom. Like we kept getting all these hits on our Facebook page on Justice for Lori. On Facebook, people send in the different links and whatnot, and then we got on KTIV with God, I can't think of her name now, but the reporter came out and she did a great job. Gabriella, she came out and she did a great job. She covered our story, and now here we are with you guys. So within a month's time, we're holding strong, and I feel like we have to keep up that momentum, though.
Right.
Like, it's about keeping up the momentum, and I feel like each month we have to make each month count. Some kind of doings. In May, Renee, is it in May? Great Plains Action Society will be hosting their annual MMIW walk. And this year they will be highlighting my mom's case. So we are
I
very
want to
happy.
go to that. I want to
Yeah,
go to that.
we're really excited for that. And we'll be posting it Renee will be posting it on our Facebook page when those dates get to us. And so we're really excited for that.
Make sure and send that to me because I do want to go to that. So like the place where you're from, is that like a small town? Like, has anybody in the community reached out since this happened? Has anybody in the community tried to help or show support, or how's that going like back home?
So yeah, the community has really like grasped and took hold of this.
Good.
At the vigil, for me at the vigil, it was like all of a sudden all these elders start showing up. Like, we were live, a bunch of us were live, and me and Renee were busy, and but then all of a sudden it was like boom, 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 all these elders started popping up. My grandma's friends, my grandma's passed away, my grandma Patty's passed away, and boom, there was like a couple people in walkers, and like they were showing up. And for me, that meant a lot for our elders to come out. Terry Medina, my grandpa Chris Denny helped host our event and said the prayers for us. And, it was just huge to see them all come out like that. And then, it was like we were live, and as our time got cut short because of our location. It started getting bigger than I think they were expecting us to, and so we had to kind of cut it short. But for me, I think the community is really grasping because of how traumatic this was for a lot of the Native American community. Our families were all intertwined back then, and so everybody remembers it. But now it's been like 33 years, so it's like, a lot of people haven't heard of it, and so all this stuff we're doing is great to let them know that it did happen.
Right. I'm like excited for you. The other day, like, you had me in tears. And it's just like, like when we were talking earlier about how something like this people don't know how to handle, certain things. People handle things differently, and how like it pulled a lot of family apart. Um, it's so good to hear that this is bringing your family back together after all these years. And I know once you guys get justice, you will get justice. And once you do, your family will be able to breathe again. And like, that makes me feel so good that you guys are
Right
getting
now
that.
right now on the screen, that's my Auntie Jermaine. That's Renee's mom. I just had to point that out. She's probably watching right now.
Hi, Auntie Tree.
Yeah, she was gonna watch. And I seen Renee's husband and one of her babies go by. There's my Auntie Kathleen and Renee's brother Lonnie.
Mm.
A lot. We were all there. It was great. I didn't mean to cut in.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was
I
saying.
was gonna give some shout outs to the family.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah, since the
definitely.
family's watching, I am so blessed to see the healing that is happening in our family, and it was such a journey that it was such a journey since December. Like I said, I remember I made a post. I was like, just in December, 2 months ago, if you Googled my aunt's name, you wouldn't see anything. But if you Google it now, there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of resources. There are all kinds of segments, stories. It's incredible to be able to see how much has happened, how much has progressed since just a few months. So getting her out there, getting what we can out there, putting her picture everywhere, doing the best that we can, and my family. I'm so grateful for them. I know my aunts, they really had a difficult time. And I always tell them, like, it's just that survivor's guilt that you feel because you wish it was you or you wish it didn't happen. But, there's nothing you could have done to change this person's decision,
Right.
to take a life. That's on them.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody's fault but that person. And I love my aunties very much. And I feel like our family is getting healing. And I'm just happy that we're all kind of coming together, involving each other, helping with food, helping with signs, helping with awareness. Everybody, it was so beautiful. There was so many different types of shirts. Um, at the visual that people, different family members made. And, we all kind of, and it was just to see all that love in all different forms for my Auntie Lori. It was so beautiful.
That makes my heart happy. That really makes me happy too.
Yeah, like we're all kind of unifying in that way. And our family is getting healing, and, we're resilient and we're going to keep going.
Yes.
It was really unfortunate, the whole situation. And that crime against her, there was never a charge for her either.
I just want to point out that, my Aunt Isla, she feels like, they weren't heard. Nobody helped them back then is the feeling that I get from her is what I've heard her say is, cry out loud that they weren't heard. And so I just want to say, Isla, here we are today and we're speaking up for you. Your voice is heard. And here we
Yes.
are. We are
Yes.
here. We're here representing you and our family, and that your voice will be heard this time. When we get into court, you will be there and you will be heard.
Yes. And everybody's gonna hear you because we're gonna keep on going. Well, like I said, we'll do what we have to do. If there's anything like that, like what could like the people watching right now do to help you? What would be the best thing? Like what would help you with that, or with us helping you? What could we all do as
Yeah, what do
a
you
community?
need?
Well, I think right now, one thing, I don't know if we're legitimately supposed to say this, but we're trying to reach the DA, James Loomis. We're reaching out to you. Please hear us, in a good way, that we're here. And we'd like to get some type of acknowledgement um, that you can help us at some point along the way, not that your office is short staffed and that you have crimes right now. At some point along the way, can you help us is what I want to say.
I'm gonna try and be careful with my words because I know like
Yeah.
there's still stuff going on or whatever, but um there was a suspect that when this happened that was arrested, right, for a while and then was released. Um
One point that I want to make while you forgot what you were saying. No.
I knew what I was gonna say, I just didn't know how to say it. I just want to be careful.
Yeah. Well, before I lose my train of thought, this alleged suspect not only murdered my mother 5 years down the road, she murdered her own brother.
That's exactly
And
what I was gonna say, but I didn't know if I could say it just now. That's what I was
and
gonna say.
it's a hard disposition for us to want to advocate for him because that's her brother. But in essence, like, she killed my mother 5 years down the road. She killed her own brother. And
The crazy thing to me is that both of these cases, it's the same person, and both of these cases, her own brother, and both of them are listed as unsolved.
yeah.
How? Like that just blows my mind.
And
And so like when your aunt says she wasn't heard. Somebody would be in prison right now, like two taking two people's lives, and she's just walking around. So you're right, but she's going to be heard now. We're going to scream for her, for all of you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you have I know like you guys are newly like digging into this and starting all over, and do you have any like advice for other families that are going through something similar, like what would be your, like what, how would you encourage them, like, you know, like
Renee?
you,
I'd say, I would say don't be afraid, you know, because this is a native on native crime. It's still a crime against a person.
exactly.
And and I know that doesn't matter. You know, I know that people didn't want to talk back then because, you know, it was the native community, you know, it was an alleged native person, but it's still a crime against a person and it's still wrong.
Yep.
And don't let anybody make you feel like don't let anybody gaslight you. Like this is wrong, and it's time to start living right, and it's time to get justice and to heal. And I feel like do the best you can as far as getting on those websites. The websites is what really helped us as far as getting her name out there. You could probably see if you're in your area, if there's a cold case website, reach out to the cold case initiative of your state. Just try to get the word out there and then post, create a page. I got that information. I got that advice from Nate McCauley for his mom. Create a page for her, create a page for them, you know, get them out there. Any updates, you know, gather network, you know, just keep pushing it and keep going.
And even just like this, the slideshow, like looking at these beautiful pictures and stuff, just like that makes people see, like, you know, it's different when you hear something or whatever, but when you actually see this, you know, it's like it makes it real. And hopefully, you know, people understand she had a beautiful family. She had a beautiful, you know, life and kids, and it was taken from her just because somebody decided to be an idiot. But yeah, just, you know, I hope everybody sees that and feels that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think too, the fact that it was after a party or whatever. I mean, there were other people there. There were people who had to have seen what
Yep.
happened and who did it and know all of these years. So like, it's time to come forward and help Lori get justice. I mean, it's
Yeah.
33 years past time to have done it, but now is just as good as, you know, just
Yeah, this
speak up,
family
say
deserves,
something.
so they deserve, they deserve to know. They deserve to have justice, and somebody needs to
Absolutely. This
come forward.
person
Yeah.
did not
Zach.
deserve to be walking the streets for 33 years
No.
after doing this to someone, taking a mother from her two young children, her 11-month-old son and 9-year-old daughter, and her, you
Yeah.
know, multiple sisters and her, you know, all her aunts, uncles, her whole family. Like there, it was not, it was just so unfair and unjust for her to be taken like that. So for this person to just be out there walking around and people knowing who she is or who they are, um, like it's not okay.
And it's
And
horrible because she's in the same town still, and their family, this family has to see that. And it's like, I just couldn't even imagine, like,
Like literally, you guys, I seen her at Home Depot like 3 days ago. And I feel like, you know, since we've started this journey and when me and my husband were up stapling up posters, I've seen her 3 times in the last month and a half, and which is so crazy, you know, like I see her often. And, you know, I have found peace in my heart and in my life, which is how I'm able to talk about these things wholeheartedly and not with hatred in my heart. You know, this woman lives a life some type of way, and obviously she doesn't have a conscience. And you
no.
know, we hear all types of things about the type of person she is and the things she says, like jokingly about being a murderer and people better watch out and things like that. And you know, and when I seen her the other day, I just, you know, I don't know what the feeling that comes with that. Like, you know, my husband had his jersey on, or his, you know, one of our sweatshirts, and she didn't even like, she doesn't even know that I am who I am, I don't think. And so for me, that's really hard, you know, sometimes, to just know that she, how the how come she gets to walk free every day, going about her life, and here we are,
Yeah.
like blocks away, seeking justice. It's
Well,
crazy.
not only did she take your mother's life, she took her own brother's, and I mean, if you really think about it, she also took your brother's. That's he lost his mom. He didn't have a
That's
dad. He
right.
lost his mom, and yeah, she's just walking around. It just blows my mind. You know, the bigger you make this, the more you're seen, the more you're heard. That community's going to have to eventually, that police department, everybody's going to have to pay attention, because we're going to be so loud that they're going to have no choice to. And
Well,
hopefully she gets to be uncomfortable now.
Well, like one thing my grandpa Chris Denny, he said, at the vigil there was an eagle soaring over, and I feel like for me that brings like a lot of hope and light for me anyway.
Yeah.
And for our people that were there that day, the eagle was flying above, and it's got a peaceful sense. We're not out for vengeance, like
Right.
I speak for myself. I'm not out to like and so I don't want to be negative. I just want what's coming to her to finally come to light. What's done in the dark will come to the light, and that's in the Bible. And I feel that for our case, we are very fortunate, like what Renee was saying, that Terry McCulley, her son Nate McCulley, right now he goes through a very hard time, and he's the guy that killed his mother is sitting in the Woodbury County jail. And, he had a hard time when they brought him back. And I seen him on Facebook, and, I just feel for him. And I'm so glad that his case has kind of made a path for us to follow.
Right.
And, it wasn't like we were seeking, it just happened just like that. Like there was Terry McCulley's case, and then all of a sudden Renee and Danielle are like doing all this behind the scenes stuff. And me and my aunties, we were starting to plan a memorial. And as we came together, it's like, boom, all these things started happening. And so I feel very fortunate that I have my younger cousins right now, they're leading our family into the light. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you, Renee, and thank you, Danielle. And, we're just grateful to be here each and every day.
I think it's important too for people to remember that when you see something, say something. It's not okay to stand back and hide. This should never have gone on as long as it has. And it's understandable people get scared, people don't want to be in the middle of something, whatever. At the end of the day, imagine if that was your mother, imagine if that was your sister, your aunt, whoever, your best friend. You have to say something. It's not okay to be silent. It's just not. This has gone on way too long, and it's time for people to stand up and hold people accountable for the things they've done. It's not okay. It wasn't okay that your mother lost her life. It wasn't okay that you lost your mother. And it's not okay that your aunties lost their sister. She was so young. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think that there are so many people that could have said something at the time and could say something today, but yet they choose to be silent. And again, I understand, people get scared. But at the end of the day, it's not right. It's just not right.
Right. And I think too, the point that, even if you know anything at all, no matter, even if you think it's just like some minute detail that isn't going to make a difference, call the police department and give them that tip anyway. I mean, it may be the thing that helps to seal the case for everything. You never know. And even if you just heard conversations in the town that, I heard this person saying this to this person, and, anything. If you know anything like that, even if you weren't there and you just heard this or you heard that, call the police and tell them where you heard it, who said
And
it,
you
what
could
they
even
said.
do it anonymously. Like, just say
Right.
something.
Yes.
That's right.
Like,
The tiniest little
don't
thing
forget.
helps.
Yeah.
Zach,
I
are you
think
trying to say
Zach
something?
wants to say something.
Go ahead, Zach. Sorry, I can't see I don't have my glasses, and we're all small, so I can't see you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zach.
My question for you is, What do you hope the future holds to help you and others' families that are grieving? What kind of steps would others take to help this kind of tragedy from happening?
Well, I don't think you can help these things from happening, but um, like for myself, these girls were out partying, and as a recovering alcoholic and substance abuser, like she went out to have a good night of fun and never came home. That's kind of where it started for me, is like she just went out for a night of fun, and you have to be very conscious of, I guess, your surroundings.
Yeah.
But for the families that are seeking justice, you got to start somewhere, right? And with these girls, they started, like Renee said, in the Iowa cold case. They got her up on that website, and then Renee made the Facebook page, and that's kind of how it started. And and then networking is the big thing, getting it out, getting our name out there, our cause out there each and every way we can. Like here we are with you guys tonight, and who knows where this might lead.
And I think you guys are doing like a huge thing for other people as well. I mean, think about it. There's like, it's not just you guys. My family went through that. Look how many people go through that, and a lot of people never step up and start, trying, because they're scared of like what's going to be said or what's going to happen or how it's going to affect their family or whatever. But you doing this, it's like also going to open up the doors for other people to be encouraged to come up and speak for their families as well, and that's huge.
Yeah, I just reiterate, Renee said, don't be scared. For myself, when Danielle had got us up on Iowa cold case, I posted it, but I was like, oh God. I posted something on my Facebook page, and then I thought, oh, should I not say something? And I took it down. And then, that same night, Renee posted her, like the whole thing, and she just spilled it all like word vomit. It was there. And I was like, oh shit, here we are.
Yeah, it's stuff to stay.
And then I was like, you know what? F it. And I posted mine, and I just kept reposting. And, and then pretty soon it was like I opened my Facebook up to public, and I just started friend requesting people and getting it out there. And that's how I ran into Bratty. I wasn't public. My Facebook wasn't public. And I was very timid as to like, what do we say? What do we don't say? Like, and then it was like, these girls are like, we're not scared. We're not scared. Here we are. We want to make people uncomfortable. Like, we're not going anywhere. And we're going to keep saying it. And to anybody that will listen, and the people that don't want to hear us, we're here.
Say her name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I think that people forget, and I was telling my sister, Danielle was like, I was 7, she was 5, Kayla was 9. Like, we didn't do this. They did this. They caused this. They put this.
Exactly.
This is a story because of them. This person made this a situation because of decisions that they made to take a person's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's on them. That's not on us. We were kids. Like, and I just feel like it's not our burden to bear. It's theirs, and
Absolutely.
being able to say that to myself was empowering myself to put it out there more, because I'm like, this isn't my fault. This isn't Kayla's fault. This isn't our family's fault. A person is going to go out, and they're obviously of age. They make the decisions they make. They're going to go out and do what they want, and should not have to be killed. They shouldn't have to be murdered. That was on somebody else. That was on somebody else's hand. That's somebody else's guilt. That's somebody else's burden. It's not ours. And we're not holding it anymore. We're going to put it out there, and we're going to say it. And I think as far as like prevention, for these things to happen, I would say maybe start talking about things that people try to, I guess, sweep under the rug. I guess as Indigenous people, as Indigenous communities, we have a spiritual way of life. And these things are not our customs or traditions. They're not in that way where we live in like a circle. What we put out is what we get back. So if you want to live a good life, make good decisions, be a good relative, take care of yourself, and pray. And I think that's as far as like what I could say for as being an Indigenous person, you know, and don't be afraid, to speak up about these things. Don't be afraid to get that healing, you know. We all go through things, and I just want to say, as far as like wanting to do something for other people is maybe look for I think in Iowa they have a cold case initiative. I know that there's things that need funding. I'm not sure what their funding looks like. I do know that is a really big part, and I think that one of the things we want to do is probably address some of the legislation in Iowa. Write some letters, or write letters of support. I think we reached out to the Ponca tribe um, for a letter of support for her case to bring awareness. And I think, and my aunt, she was a member of the Winnebago tribe. Lori is a member of the Winnebago tribe. Um, However, her father, Clayton DeCora, he is from Black River Falls, Wisconsin, and he's the one that gave her name, her Indian name, her Ho-Chunk name. It's a bird that comes down from the sky, and it's amazing because that day, like Kayla said at that vigil, there was an eagle that came down and was soaring above us, and it felt so beautiful, like she was there, you know. And she has a lot of family. She has a lot of family from the Ponca tribe, for the Ponca people. We have Ponca relatives. We have Ho-Chunk relatives from Black River Falls, Wisconsin. She has a younger sister and a younger brother that are still living, and nieces and nephews there. She has lots of grandchildren from all of the siblings, because as Indian people, we like my mom's kids are her kids, and her kids are my mom's kids, and her grandkids are my mom's grandkids. So it's like that's how we are. So it just shows the resiliency in our family. And I think that's some of the things that could probably help other people to think about is your voice is very powerful, and don't be afraid to use it.
Definitely.
I think the MMIW the cause is like right here right now. It's all over the nation, and native crimes have been happening. And I hate to be like one of those people where there's like a blue-eyed blonde girl and missing or got murdered, and it's all over the nation and it's all over everywhere, and yet our people are getting murdered all the time and nobody hears about it. And so it's like for us, we're just joining in on that cause too. Like,
I said that last week on our live, and it's so true. And it's like I've been following true crime for a long time, and that was one of the things that pushed me, because I said I'm not going to have a channel. I don't want a channel. I did all that, whatever. But this was just so important to me because it's in my blood. It's like, but a lot of the stuff that I've watched, it is like, it's nothing against race. Like I said, I'm married to a white man. I have white grandkids. It's like I have every race you can think of in my family. But this is, this movement is different. It's like, you don't like the cases that I would see before. It's the same 2 or 3 cases over and over and over, and then nothing's coming out new. But there's that's still the case that's popular or whatever. But in the meantime, there's hundreds, thousands of Indigenous kids as well. All different people. But like on my personal page, I do post stuff like that, different flyers, different whatever. But on this, I just felt like it was important to make people aware of, like, I would like somebody to tell me besides Emily Pike the last time they've seen another child, and it shouldn't take some horrible thing to happen to a 14-year-old to bring this to light. Like, we should matter every day, not just when something is big, you know. Yeah, that's got to change. It's got to change. The whole Amber
Absolutely.
Alert thing's got to change. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change, but
This
yeah,
is a long time coming, and there's no excuse for it.
you
There's
know,
Here we go.
there's no excuse for why these cases, all of them, are not brought to the forefront as well as the ones that we do see. It's sad. It's
I want
very
to see
sad.
everybody
That's
found, every
right.
child from everywhere. But I'm just pushing this right now because that's we get the least attention, the least,
Absolutely.
you know, and
Absolutely.
it's important. And like you said, this is the time. It's, you know,
And I think the more noise we make, and the more we stay prevalent, and the more we put it out there, I think it's going to help. Only bring more awareness. I think if we sit back and we just let the powers that be do what they want to do, then yeah, this will all fall to the wayside.
that's
But we
what it's
can't
been
let that
happening
happen, and that's
for
why we're here.
generations.
That's right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And it's wrong. And it's been wrong. And it's time for that to change. And I know that's part of it's part of our mission to make sure that these names get out there and that people hear us so that it's not just, and again, I'm Italian, but it's not just the little blonde white girl or the, whoever who gets noticed and everyone else falls to the wayside. It's not right, it's not fair. And again, it's time for that to change. I see this as a way of that happening.
I have 8 grandchildren and then my little son, you know, and 3 daughters, and I think about this all the time. What if it was one of mine? One of my family members? And it's like I would want people to push and push and push and find my babies or find
Absolutely.
my relative or whatever. Like I said, you know, when I talk about my cousin, there's 2 cases in my family actually, but it was a little bit before your guys' case, but the same thing. Like, you know, back then you just it's hush hush. Everything's hush hush. Everybody's afraid to upset somebody, or I don't even know what it is anymore, but you know, it's time for change. It's a scary world out there, and our kids and our family deserve protected as well. We're important too.
Absolutely.
I think for us, I'm just going to shout out to the Sioux City, Iowa community. You know, if you were there and you saw something, please reach out. Like, what if it was your daughter? What if it was your
Exactly.
mom or your auntie? Like, please help us out. You know, we're here in Woodbury County, and you know, Sioux City is a city, but it's really just a big town, and everybody knows everybody, and so you know, there were a lot of people there that night, and please come forward and, you know, yes, get right with God. Please do the right thing, you know.
Yeah, you know, well,
And
you know, sorry.
like you guys were saying, any small little minute little thing that you think might not be a big deal might just help us out.
Yeah, and it's like
Absolutely.
come forward, like if you did see anything, if you know anything, even if you've heard anything. Like Lori lost her life, but she still has family that deserves closure as well. Um, like she may be gone right now, but her daughter's right here, her niece is right here, her other nieces and cousins, and just everybody, they still deserve that closure. Not, you know, it can't be forgotten about.
And you know, I think for us, I also just want to state here, if you have any ideas that might help us out, you know, Renee runs Justice for Lori Ann DeCora on Facebook, our Facebook page. Please come on there and message us and let us know. Give us some ideas, thoughts that you guys might have that we might not know about. Like you guys were asking us like what we thought. Like we also need input. Like we're brand new in this in the cause, and we can use all the advice that we can get at this point.
Yep. Yep. You guys are such good speakers, and you guys say you've only been doing this since December, but you guys do pretty well. Like it's pretty impressive. Um,
It
Mhm.
really is.
yeah.
And I have to
Like,
say, I mean, just after talking to you guys the other day, it just really kind of like it gave me a lot of motivation and desire to keep doing what we're doing. Like I already had the passion there, but it just really like it really lit a fire under me even. I mean, it just gave me kind of what I needed to just keep pushing, I guess. Like I feel like I'm pushing even harder now because I want this so bad for you guys and for everybody out there who needs it. I mean, for
Yeah,
everybody who
thank
needs
you.
justice and for every missing child who is still missing and needs to be found, or adult, missing kid, adult, whatever, anything, anyone, everybody.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I just,
You
you
know, right
guys
now,
have helped us so much, even. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you guys putting us on here, asking us to come on your panel is huge. We were all excited all week. I was doing my face, you know, and just bringing us on here is great. Thank you guys so much for all of this. And you know, right now my thoughts are like, you know, we need a private investigator. I feel like that's where I'm starting to like think about is like,
Yeah.
if there aren't investigative funds through the county, then we need to come up with investigative funds on our own. At some, you know, to do any kind of digging around in the back, getting that somebody that can get legally where we can't, you know.
Right.
And so, if there are any PIs out there that are watching this and feel it in your heart to want to help out, we're here. We need the help.
Absolutely. And everybody in chat, like, please share out their information
Yeah,
and talk, push that information, and we'll something's gonna happen. Something good's gonna come out of this for you guys. I just
for
feel it.
sure.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, they could reach us at our at the Facebook page, Justice for Lori and DeCora. I check it religiously, so I do the best I can every day to keep checking it. So we're pretty prompt and trying to get those messages answered. But I think that one of the things I wanted to say is it's I'm grateful to be here with you guys, and I'm grateful for your guys' platform because it really gives the public the inside of the impact
Right.
of family members and of what they have gone through, you know.
It makes
When
it real hearing
Yeah,
it and seeing the family. It makes it real.
yeah, like hearing us and hearing what we went through, you know, we get that space to be able to tell what we went through, how this has impacted families. And so that's why I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to be here and for us to
We're,
tell my auntie's story.
we're grateful that you guys chose us as well. Like we were so happy to like. That's what I told Nicole and them. They're like, you guys are gonna love these ladies. Like me and Kayla have became promise sisters already. Like you guys are amazing, and
Yeah.
like I just want this so bad for you guys. Like
Yeah, it's like it really shows the domino effect. It didn't just affect your Lori. It affected every single person in the family in huge, huge, huge ways. There was more than just one, loss from all of it. So, everybody deserves justice for her. Everybody, everyone in the whole family, you know, I think you guys need this healing. I think you are getting there even before the justice has come, but I think that, this is what I don't know. I just, like Brady said, I want it so bad for you guys. I can taste it. I want it. And I feel like you're going to get it one day. And I hope that, I know there's other creators in the chat too. And I've shared out some other links to other creators that have been doing this longer than we have that, may have more resources. And I hope that if they hear this and they, know of anything that could help, I hope that they will reach out to you guys too, because like you said, you guys need all the help you can get at this point, whatever, anything and everything. And we'll continue to help as much as we can too, and do what we can to, you know, to help
You
you
know,
guys get there.
uh, I don't know if my aunties are still watching, but you know, there were a couple of my aunties there. I don't know if 3 or was it 2 were there, but you know, I just want to say, like, if you're watching, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't. And you know, this is our time of healing for us to come together. And I just want you to know that you guys couldn't have known what was going to happen that night, because I know two of my aunties for certain hold this dear in their heart, that trauma that tore their lives apart too, and their children's lives. You guys, it wasn't your fault. You didn't know that was going to happen. And each and every step we take to get closer to justice, I just want you to know that we're here speaking up for you, and you know who you are. I don't want to pinpoint names, but I love my aunties, and I'm so proud of them that they came to the vigil, and they're stepping up to help with the food fundraising. They're all about it, and they're going to get it done.
Yay.
The more noise we make, the better
And there
it
was
is.
one final question that I wanted to ask, and that was, sorry, Barb, did I cut you off?
No, you're fine. Go ahead, honey.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So something I told you guys the other day, I wanted to ask, like, what is your favorite memory of Lori Ann?
Well, I thought about it, and it would just be, I think we all in my family, and Renee too, I don't want to speak for her, but for me, yes, it was my mom. Those recordings, she used to love to sing. Like, she was a jolly, like, she was very clumsy. She was always tripping over things and knocking things over. And, she was always singing and dancing. And I remember she used to call me Mija. I can literally hear her voice still say it to me, like, all the time. And she'd like, let's go, Mija. And she'd get up and dance and sing. And but my fondest memory is we were getting ready for bed, and my brother was laying over here, and she comes running from the back, and she jumps on the bed, and she's very tall. My mom was 5'11". She hit the bed and hit the wall and slid down the floor, and everybody was like, didn't know if she was hurt. And then she jumps up and she's laughing, and it was so cute, because it was so fun, because she was so big. My dad, he used to say that my mom was like a Coke bottle, like, that hourglass shape, and all legs. She was very beautiful. You can see in one of these slides, she had this like tube top on. Oh my God, she was hot, and I just remember her like being loving and joyous all the time. And I remember those recordings of her singing. She was always cleaning and cleaning the house and cooking. And she just loved being a mom. She did. And she was the best mom. And, those are my good memories that I remember her, like hearing her voice and, just loving and caring.
Yeah, I think that the same as she had such a bright light, and she was just so happy and funny and loving. And I was crying. It's so amazing. To me, it's being 7 years old and then feeling it after 33 years. I was crying in the car, I think about I want to say in January. And I just kind of went down this little moment of like a different reality of thinking like what our family could have looked like if she was still here, and how much happier my mom would be, how much happier our family would be, how many family gatherings we could have had, and all those things. And I think it just really hit me of how it's just so wrong, to cut someone's life short and not think about the effects it's going to have on their entire family.
Exactly, the entire
And
family.
yeah, so I think that, just those things of missing that light in our family, and having that memory, knowing that, she was so amazing.
Is there ever something that like just all of a sudden you smell a certain smell or you see a certain flower or a certain song that just brings you back to her? Like,
Sitting at the dock of the bay.
That song, yes.
That
And
was
then
her song.
Ozzy Osbourne, Oh my God, I was just crying when that song came on. Flashbacks of just everything about the wake and the funeral and stuff. And
Oh,
what was that? What's that song called? By Ozzy Osbourne, or is Black Sabbath? Um, I can't remember, but it's on one of the videos that we pinned on her Facebook. But that song, and she was a Raiders fan, so and her favorite colors were black and white, and just things like that. We're just immediately you just think of her.
that's
You
awesome.
know, when I'm close to my aunties, they bring out something. Like each one of them brings something different that reminds me of her. My Auntie Germaine, I hold her very dear in my heart because for whatever reason, my mom just clung to her. And when she became a mom, my mom became a mom. I think she just clung on to my Auntie Germaine because she already had kids. And I just remember us always being around my auntie and like them talking at the table and us playing and running around. And I just love my aunties for always bringing that back. Because when I was really lost out in the world and in my addiction, and I would come home, each of them brought something like alive, and I would hold that very dear in my heart. And I'm just so proud of us and all my aunties for, really holding on to what they could of her memory and bringing that, keeping that for me because I lost it for a long time. And, I'm just grateful to Danielle and Renee that you got us here and we're here right now.
I'm glad you guys got each other. That's like really important. I love that. Zach, I have a question for you. The video that's playing, is there any way we can play it with the music once? Just run it through so everybody
I
can
don't
see how
think I
beautiful it is.
sent it to him
Oh, you didn't
with
get
the
the
music.
music one? Well, the music was beautiful. When I seen it and heard it, I just started crying. It was beautiful.
I will send you guys the link to the video afterwards, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kayla
Okay,
and
Thank you.
thank you.
Renee.
Nicole did an amazing job. Yeah, she made me cry.
Oh,
I just want to say super great. Thank you guys for bringing us on your panel and, having this open discussion and conversation with us to each and every one of you. Like, thank you. The other night when we logged off, I was so happy and uplifted and I was crying and then I was happy and he's like, what's wrong with you?
Well, everybody in this chat, mostly everybody that's in the chat right now, knows Bratty and her typos. So I was part of that crying, laughing part because I sent her some typos too. So yeah, but they know. So you won't embarrass me. They know in here that I do that.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows. Your mother's light and your auntie's light continues to shine.
Yes.
And with any luck, it'll get brighter and justice will happen. And that's our goal. That's what we hope for. And we're always here, no matter what you guys need. So don't
Yeah, if we
hesitate
don't know
to
the
reach
answers,
out.
we'll find the answers. Like we'll try
Absolutely.
to
Yes.
help you. Like
Absolutely.
If there's a will, there's a way.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
And thank you for sharing her. Thank
Yes.
you for being here. I mean,
Yes.
it's again.
Thank you for my shirt.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Thanks
my
for
shirt.
representing.
Yep.
It's a sad state of affairs that things should go on this long and that awareness wasn't brought a long time ago. And it's a shame that the person who's done this has not been held accountable. It's really a shame. But hopefully with enough noise and enough people, something will happen and I just feel like it will.
I feel it in my heart. I just do. These ladies are working so hard and they're so positive and they're so fun to talk to and be around and they're going to do big, huge things and they're going to get this solved. I just feel it. Just feel it.
Well,
I agree.
real quick, my heart just wants to say, why we're here and why we're live and why it's open to the nation and open to the world, to this alleged suspect, you know who you are. And if you ever want to come forward and get right with God on your own behalf, here's your chance.
Yes.
You, from what I hear, you don't live the life that you probably could. And maybe if you cleared your conscience, you could get right with God and you live a better life. And, if you ever found it in your heart to step forward and just, own up to what you did,
And give this family some closure.
It's worth a shot anyway. It doesn't hurt to ask.
That's right. It doesn't hurt.
But and I feel like we're coming to an end, and I just want to say that thank you everybody, and thank you Renee, and I just want to give a big shout out to Nate McCauley. God bless your soul and rest your mother's soul. Justice for Terry and justice for Lori Ann DeCora.
Thank you for being here, Nate.
Thank you everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
thank
wanna-
you guys. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
wanna-
me too.
When I came in, I didn't say hi to everybody in chat. Actually, I couldn't see everybody in chat. But a lot of these people are our friends and good supporters, and there are some creators in here as well. Even my Debbie Dunn is in here. My husband is even in here. There's so many people in here, and I love you all. Thanks for being here as well, and thank you guys for letting us do this for you. It makes us feel good to help somebody, and that's what we're here for. That's the whole goal of even starting this was. So thank you for letting us do that.
Renee, did you want to say something?
Oh no, I was listening, but yes, thank you everybody. I appreciate it. I'm so glad I met you guys. And if you ever want to contact us, you can message the Justice for Lori Ann page. All the information is there. And just share this, share everything. Just keep pushing her name and her story out there, and hopefully we get justice.
And if you guys know of anybody, I know sometimes there are certain groups and certain how do I want to say it? Certain places and people that want to donate to certain funds and stuff like that. This would be a good one. They could really use the help, the support, and the money. And I don't know if it's okay for me to say this, but I also know that Kayla, weren't you talking also about you wanted to get a headstone for your mother as well?
Actually, one of my aunties, in the beginning, that's where I kind of started wanting to fundraise, is to get a headstone for my auntie, or for my mother. And actually, my auntie, Rhonda Hill, she stepped up big time, and she donated a headstone, and I'm picking one up as we speak.
Good, that's awesome, good.
Shout out to Rhonda Hill, my cousin Alicia Mace's sister. My cousin Alicia May, she's my biggest supporter, and my auntie Rhonda Hill, they're just here for me, and they wanted to help out, and they they donated the headstone for our family.
Good.
And
that's awesome. That's awesome.
We jumped over that first hurdle like that.
Yeah, good.
So we're moving on.
Good.
We keep moving.
Well, that makes me happy. Well, I guess thanks to everybody for being here. Thank you guys, and keep in touch. You guys got my number. And yeah. Anybody have anything you want to say before we go? Besides, bye everybody in chat. Love you all. And you on panel.
Thank you everybody for being here. Everyone in chat, everyone on panel, Kayla, Renee. We really, 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 really appreciate you guys. And we're rooting for you.
And special thank you to Zach and Nicole and Barb and Emery and Brady. You guys are the best.
Thank you. Zach, Nicole, you guys, I don't know if you guys want to do our flyers still before we exit, or do you want to save that for another time?
Save it.
Yeah,
I think we need to end on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And everybody in chat, don't forget to click the thumbs up if you haven't already before you leave, and share the video so we can continue to share her story. And just thanks for being here. Love you all.
Thanks, Brady.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
up in the morning sky, there I will be, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-lo, hey. Hey, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-oh, hey. Hey, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-oh, hey. Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free.